Is there a difference between honor and respect towards our earthly fathers? I honor my father, but struggle with respect because of the relationship we had when I was a child. You know, this is a very common issue where people, by and large, don't have a father.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 goes to bed without a father.
Yeah.
Even fewer have a Christian dad, and even fewer have a Christian dad who's actually doing it.
Yeah.
So I believe this question might be alive and well in many hearts today. Would you like to tackle it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there is no difference between honor and respect. Just looking at the words, in Hebrew and Greek, they're exactly the same. But I understand the intent of the questioner. The questioner is essentially saying, my father has manifested dishonorable behaviors to me. How in the world am I going to honor him?
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get there, you need to know you can. And I'll tell you why I know you can. God commands it. So just as a rule of thumb, before we get a little more specific, God doesn't command anything He doesn't enable us to do.
Well said.
It's just not the way it works. So He made the command in Exodus chapter 20. It's the 5th commandment. And then it's repeated in Ephesians chapter 6.
That's right.
Honor your fathers. So it is a doable thing. But how do you do it? You're born, and your dad was dishonorable. He abandoned you. He neglected you. He abused you. How in the world do you honor that person? You may not have any reason to honor that person for anything after your birth, but you can honor him for your birth. So we did this in the last service. You want to clown a little bit?
I think it's good.
So everyone here who has a belly button.
You want to raise a hand? See how many people here do?
Everyone who has a belly button, would you raise your hand? Thank you, Wade. You're better. Thank you so much. That is almost...
They keep them up.
Almost everybody.
I want to make sure if anyone doesn't, we talk to them. You know?
That'd be a terrible thing to be belly button-less.
That's right.
Okay, so if you have one of those things, can you point to it? You know, just kind of put your finger on it if you don't mind right there. Okay, good. So here's the deal. You know what that means? That thing right there, that belly button, means you are not self-generated. This reminds you were once connected by cord, umbilical cord, to the woman who gave you birth. All this thing is they cut the cord and they tied this up. Some of us, do you have like an innie or an outie? Yeah. We don't have to go there.
I know I passed out when I had to cut my daughter's. It was.
You cut your daughter's belly button?
There's umbilical cord, so never mind. What were you saying?
How am I supposed to remember what I was saying after you?
Hand up, belly button, go.
I've lost respect for you. But anyway.
You were saying we're not self-generated.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're not self-generated. Thank you so much. That's what this is a reminder of. So here's the deal. In truth, after your conception and birth, you might not have much by which you can base honor and respect for your dad for. But you have to go back to this. Your very being can be traced back to those two people called parents.
That's good.
Even if after your birth, there's nothing more you could honor them for, at least that. Now, if that's not persuasive to you, I'll tell you why it's not. It's because you have bought into the world system and you have devalued conception, pregnancy, birth, and life. You no longer think it's sanctified. And so therefore, you don't think my argument holds water. You're saying you want me to show honor to this creep who so mistreated me merely because he birthed me? And my answer is, you're darn tootin'.
Yeah.
Yeah, he birthed you. It was a divine human partnership.
That's right.
God, in his sovereignty, chose these two, even if it wasn't under the most ideal circumstances. Nonetheless, he chose those two to produce you. Wow. You can therefore obey the commandment just on that basis if you have nothing else to go on. Now, in truth, an honorable dad is going to help you obey the commandment much more than a dishonorable dad. Therefore, I recommend be an honorable dad. Make it easy on your kids.
Amen.
But what if you're a kid, an adult kid now, who didn't have that kind of dad? What do? You obey God, and I'll tell you why. Ephesians 6 reminds us that this is the first commandment. There's 10 of them. But this is the first one with a promise of blessing. What's the promise? Do this that it may go well with you. So that means it may go well with you as an individual and as a nation. Here's the deal. If the members of a society have gotten to the point where they're dishonoring and disrespecting their parents, then they will probably dishonor and disrespect every other level of authority in that society. Welcome to America. They will dishonor political authority, law enforcement authority, teachers, pastors, everybody else. If you violate the fifth commandment to honor your mother and father, you will dishonor every other level of authority, and then it will not go well with you as a society. There will be chaos. I think we have it right now. But secondly, it's good for you to obey this commandment, and I'll tell you why. Your kids and grandkids are watching, that's why. And they are going to respond to you just the way they see you responding to your parents. That's the way it is. A study was done of senior adults, and 50% said they don't believe they could expect any assistance from their adult children if they needed it. 50%.
It's 5 out of 10.
It's 5 out of 10 last time I checked. Now, if you're in that category, for crying out loud, if you're the person who's given that impression to your parents, then your kids are picking that up, and lots of luck when you need help.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So God knows what he's doing when he gave the commandment.
Wow, well said. And it doesn't mean it's easy.
No.
But as you well said, to the dads in this room today and the parents, we are a primary bridge between our children and the Lord in terms of their faith journey. They learn to honor, respect, and obey you. Naturally, it's much easier for them to then honor, respect, and obey the Lord. So please, we pray, be a bridge, not a hindrance.